Good pass. Okay. So here it is. We have the little tiny cup. Wait for them. Okay, calm down. You open up. this is how the class will happen. Everybody come down. You're always looking things. Calm down. Everybody come down. Down. And also because it's screaming like a fucking child dying. Sure. See if you want to make sure go with it. I'm going to give it to you. I have to wait. Give me the stuff. Baby, you're gonna flip up everything. Okay. Now, baby, my baby. That was supposed to. That works. And also, Chip doesn't like it because probably doesn't have enough sugar in it. That's good. Careful so you don't cut yourself. Baby. Chip, honestly, if you weren't making scandal, he wouldn't have woken up. So, technically, you brought that upon yourself. Baby, just a second, let Chip drink. Chip, you're gonna have to put your head in. There's milk dripping from your face. I wanna see if Chip wants with milk though, or with sugar though. You're gonna have to pay another one. Buy a they don't probably need the more expensive type of milk, but the issue is if they didn't like it, I was gonna drink it. So I will buy one that I eat. And I'm not taking chicken and do everything on the packet. Always going to be the same now, doesn't matter what you do. So it's going to be a nightmare to open up everything. Anything needs, it's going to be always the same now. Always the same now. That's how the backpack works. You know, it's good. Okay, Chip, let me just come to you. Sugar. If baby doesn't like this sugar, that's fine, because sugar is not very good. Animals don't need as much sugar as humans do. That's why all your foods are going to be very problematic for most animals. Mostly. Not generic for everyone, but mostly that's the case. Here's the water. wants is sugar. I think the baby now wants sugar as well. There's some sugar left. Oh, it's so tiny. Please try. Please try. Oh boy. Baby, put one of this in your mouth and let's see this today. Just please try for me. Please try. She wants okay. Okay, sure. No, you should knock it off for a second because it's gonna make me what is this? Some latch inside of you, what is it? Daniel was good to me a couple of times. You saw her even recommending this, which is why I never bought it. It's actually a pretty good idea. It doesn't spoil. It has to be sealed, so this has to be within the backpack so you have an idea. Because they are known to put stuff in it, so I need to make sure that the water is kept safe and that the milk is kept safe for sure. And the sugar, everything has to be. It's going to be a package. To be put with the backpack because I imagine this type of food they'll try to go to. Simply because Penny recommends it to me. Penny never recommends anything that is good to me, which means that that's something that the criminals wanted. Okay. So, but in general, it's pretty good. It's dry, so it doesn't spoil. It's not even heavy. You can just carry the water if you need the water. It's half a kilo, the price of the weight of one Rebel. And one bottle of water. You can make as much as you need. You know, the sugar is the heaviest part because I actually drink just a lot of sugar. I used to back in the day. But maybe you still have some. Stop being jealous. You still have yours. Oh, actually, this is bad. This is the ideal scenario. I'm hoping the mama cat's gonna eat this no matter what, just so I'm not freaking out too much. Then because the baby's gonna like it too much of this. And again, human milk is a lot sweeter than cow milk. Cow milk just has a lot of fat in it. And again, look at a cow, look at a human, you probably can spot why. Even a calf is they're busy. Got it? Busy. Anyway, but at the end of the day, there. I don't know how you cannot have artificial milk. Not that useful to simplify, I would imagine. I can see 100 utilities even before jumping on, preference. People with intolerance to all sorts of things, people who cannot take too much fat, small babies that need the things from the milk and happen to not have a mother. Those who have those who probably just don't need the milk. I think we have enough of that. I mean, we don't. Just like blood. You would think so, but you'd be wrong. Your body produces it for free, but you are not good enough to give it to someone else. You must have the best. Okay, she likes it this way. And also it's good that she had to wait to when she was making candles, have foundation of the snacks and stuff like that. Although for a cat, you nearly as compliant with the candle as I tend to be. Right, baby? She'll just leave you or smack you down. Also made a bit more stronger there. I get it. You hush yourself. Okay, give me a second. You can't shrink the cup. Shrink the cup. Give me a second. I'm gonna put that. This is my fear with them and the can of tuna. Because those things are very sharp. And they're gonna put their face in it, and that was a kind of yeah, you were taking the eye probably, the size of the thing. Yeah, fuck out yourself, it's just and it's good that they also drink a lot of water in the process, which is pretty good. At least for chips. But yeah, for to have a perspective that the very reason I never bought that for myself after being out of hotels. In hotels I used to. But out of hotels because Danya said it to me. And I knew that if she was saying it, it's not good for me. So I'm gonna check that on the internet because the baby ate his ferociously. Chip is very reluctant. Let's do like this. Oh, baby likes this one. I like milk. Notice how sleepy she feels? That is why I was so reluctant to buy this. Every time I used to drink that, you should make me tired. Now, at this point, it doesn't even matter because you see that they sedate me every night, so I feel tired from the things in the air themselves. But this is why this tends to make me very, very worrisome. Okay? And it's why, and again, this was open now. This was open now. This was open now. Nothing of this is stayed between overnight. And you're gonna see that all those things are gonna be closed and kept with the backpack. And you said, well, just today you said that they access the backpack. Yeah, I know. And we're gonna take catch and guarantee that doesn't happen. Plus, I'll probably put a seal in it or tape. In the best guess. Tape it up. This is very easy to rag, so if you tape it up, it's fine. As they break the seal, which you never break normally, because why would it? It's inside a plastic bag, it's just a cap. I mean, it doesn't have any reason to break the seal. And okay, they didn't like this one all too much. So much less sugar than a bad idea. And I put very little. Or maybe I should put more sugar. Or maybe they're just full. Again, they're stuffed. You saw that they even let some of the tuna out. Baby is crying because it's a baby. You want stuff. Even when I was touching the mother, both mama cat and the other cat never had that much milk, like the size of the cup that I prepared. That's an insane amount. So I simply think that they're not used to drinking that much milk all at once. And I already accounting for the fact that baby doesn't drink that much milk at all because it's big. It's so big. It's a brother. She should be happy. That's what I tell this. In the back or something. Don't see anything. Cats have fantastic long vision, and the eyes are not particularly good to spy. As anyone trying to give a treat to a cat finds out pretty clearly, they see all blurry. That's also why some cats they look like they're not focusing. And I think that's the case. They basically close by, they just base on smell. For what I saw in a YouTube video, like a proper millennial, they essentially see all blurry, close by. Essentially, if you have eyes that are particularly good at very long distance, which cats do, that's why they see a mouse walking over there across the street and they can catch the mouse. They likely don't have their eyes able to focus a lot close by, just like a camera you can use. And it takes time for it to change the focus, and you can see that, especially in old cameras, you see the lens is actually getting far apart. So if your eyes are by definition set up for very long distance, then you're likely going to struggle with very close by. At least if you don't have that much space inside your eye sockets to do the changing. Now that's the thing, because I don't actually know how biological lenses work all that much. The eye mirrors mimics the effect of what humans do by separating the lenses, with contracting, with adjusting the. It's not about the size; it's about the angle to make it more convex and more flat, depending on the situation. But honestly, I don't actually have the knowledge to tell that. I just speculate that it's based on angle, because size doesn't matter. Size is just about entrance of light, how much light is coming to the eye. So the pupil is being dilated or contracted. But I imagine the eye can also compress, change the shape to do focusing. I mean, depending on how convex or how depending on the shape of the lens, you would have actually know very little about optics. They're the things you realize when you try to explain something to someone, which is why the best way to know how much you know is to try to teach that to someone else. But I don't know the technology. It's one of the main points. But at the end of the day, if no, you know what? I think it has to do with size to a certain degree. But I don't know, because there's so many things that they're not actually the problem, they are the solution. So, for instance, when I have telescopes, I have a telescope and I was looking through it, very powerful lenses tend to be pretty small. Or they are bigger, but they have a larger distance between, no, quite to the contrary, they have shorter distance between the lens and the focal point on the telescope. Again, technology is going to be over. And see, this is the effect you would cause on me. And seeing this, you might be thinking, well, why? And it's very odd to me. Because if you pay attention, essentially all of them now feel just almost sedated, right? And perhaps I'm thinking, perhaps it's just because every time that they drink milk, they fall asleep almost immediately after. Now, here's a problem with milk, and that's why this is actually concerning me, and I might as well disclose this, because this is going to be more than enough for them in the morning. Milk loses pretty much only to blood and infectability, so you really need to make sure that it's got clean, because just about everything grows in it. And so I need to find a way to keep it clean. Simple way is to use the water bottle. That's the smart solution. That was a smart boy. The empty one that just emptied it. This one. It was just open today, so I can just put it back inside, put the calcium inside. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cover with something, but this is much smarter to do. Much smarter to do. So, I don't fully know what to do at this point. Yeah, I'm almost deliberately not doing stuff. Phone is a 5% battery, just for the record. Which is fine. It charged only a little bit. I didn't let it charge too much because I wanted to eat. I was very hungry. The little guy was there watching over the things. It is important. It just is. Which is, it's preferable. The only reason I put this phone back as it was with the old event was because I need to keep the phone safe. The little guy that records everything and I don't get criminals to listen to it is much preferred. And then say, well, criminals always listen to that was where the cat's paying attention. See that truck? Yeah, that's the thing. Talk about that, they're putting shit drugs in there. Just for the record. Now, that would be another thing to consider about the things over there. But now that I've done that, it can come up too much. Everything else is clean. As I said before, I spent most of the afternoon moving everything from here to the front, to the garbage, as far as trash goes. So to have an idea, I see so much better for the phone than in real life. I don't know why. Normally this phone is so much hacked that it's so difficult to see anything through it. This is, yeah, it was there, it flew to wind. That's actually garbage. That was a garbage box that I was going to throw everything out, just because I was sick at some point, going there for each cup and each, step of paper or, and then just putting everything there. The wind blew away. The box is gone. Paper, as I was saying. So, Yeah, ultimate thing. Now they're really hammering in the shit drugs in the air. Interesting. Just, well, make from there what you will. My idea is that they're planning on something. Oh, by the way, the shit drugs, they stopped throwing them for most of the day. Ever since that point I mentioned, by the way, I think. There was another one point that just burst as well, disappeared. As I said, doing that my entire life, know the difference between the fake version and the real version. As I said, there are tons of other factors for you to know as well, like for instance, as I pointed out several times, the real version is normal, right? And the criminal version of the shit drugs always has diarrhea, which perfectly exemplifies what I said before. Now, the fact that there is a criminal mounted on that truck over there, immediately closer, that's not true. There is a very important factor for it all. No, nothing else to do. Okay, I think we have it. No, we don't. That's not that anyway. No, it's somewhere. No, somewhere it is. Because it's always crazy. They always put a lot of drugs on me. Like, you know? Yeah, they're ramping that up quite a lot. So here's the deal. Couple options as we know about this thing. One is to get out of the way. Move, bitch. So this should take care of most of it. Should you not? The ridiculousness of it is that quite literally you can walk out of a diarrhea. Literally walk. Just keep a couple steps and you're good. But the fact that they are throwing this now, it's, well, there, and all of that. So being there as a release method and being there probably to be there as and on another note. As I said before, go back up so none today. None of the files anyways. There was nothing at any point where there was a thing. But once again, you see that whenever I'm doing quote unquote backup, they seem to be acting up more. Right? As I said, this is important in your own way. This is actually fun. This one. Not joking. Well, we have a big house. We have a lot of stuff. Big. So that's a lot of what I stock Chip from. Chip goes there because he just sees a white cat, right? And again, cats are pretty good at vision. But then he realizes that the white cat is not her mom. It's just another cat that looks like her. So, there ain't no way in hell that her mother would just stay there eating and not come to her. It's impossible. And as you see, she doesn't want you. She doesn't think. So, now how and why the fuck you have this random cat showing up at the exact same time? That is the right question. But also, you kind of already have the answer, don't you? So the same type of answer as to why the fuck there all of a sudden shit drugs in here at the same time there's a criminal working out there in the front. And now the noises stop. They need to poop. Stops as well. At the exact same time. Yeah, it's done. I felt like it was about to put my pen. Quite literally. And now it's gone. Well, very happy it's gone. Because again, I felt that this was a dehumanization attempt, and well, also because it's gone, we know it he was, so that's pretty good. But again, I knew since the beginning. That's what I said. I've been pooping my entire life. I know what it is, I know what it isn't, and you know, that isn't. Just in case you think that when I was talking about the drugs, that was just a technicality thing, and no, it's not. I never used drugs in my life. I think those are because they fit with every known talk that everybody ever says about drugs, right? The anger, the loss of things, the sweating, they are all quintessential what you know about drugs from normal media. Being said, never used drugs myself. Perhaps one day in the future, after the pressure shows up in a very controlled environment, I would just do the check mark to know, but I don't, never at any point by myself, never at any point under any circumstances, not with supervision from someone who is definitely not involved in this crime, and probably not going to happen in this land at all, period. So keep that in mind. Now, it's very likely that one of the reasons that those criminals were throwing those things in the air was for me to not even like, I always say that. Some noise there in the back again. Not feeling anything yet. See if those things coincide once more. I don't know what that's supposed to be. That's a truck side thing. No, I didn't want to scare you. Go back. So, do you think that they literally pick up the mother of Chip in this random other cat that also had kittens somewhere, and then just replace them? And they thought, okay, they're not gonna notice anything, because it's so in line with the level of brutality those criminals do, to think that they'll just accept that, yeah, just replace the kittens, who cares? So that's your result right there. Chip, it's okay, Chip. So I put water and food for her. All the food that was here. So I just regret turning on the light at the time because I think it scared her away. But yeah, so because they don't understand, they're not like similar. They are very similar. The truth. I noticed the difference because I know the cat for a long time. It's something weird in her ass. I don't remember now the other cat, and I don't know if I have the heart to look her up on the videos. I will upload the videos, but I don't know if I'll have the heart to look through them. I will have to now because I said it was here, or else I'm gonna get older. But the thing is, as I said, something in her, the lower part of her body looks weird. The front's kind of similar. Again, every coated cat's kind of the same. No eyes and the jacket. But the bottom is weird. It doesn't act. The shapes are not the same. I noticed that right away. Which is why I was so cautious. I mean, first moment, just like Chip now. I jumped towards it and was like, hey, yeah, it's back. And then realized that it wasn't her, it was just another random cat. That looked exactly like her. But it's random. Right? No input in that, absolutely no criminal doing that for sadistic pleasure. Just the coincidence of two cats looking virtually the same. And you say, oh, that they could have been related, right? Yeah, I don't know the details. It's possible, but that just makes it even worse, right? Because if they're related, it means that they bred here, like that they're born here and they're bred here. And if that's the case, what happened? Right? Not that it's actually worse, but the other one's much worse. But the fact that she was crying for something, and I think she was crying for a baby. It sounds exactly like Mama Cat when she was crying for the baby. Maybe that's just crying in general, and it's pretty generic. But it sounds almost the same way. I noticed the difference because the voice is different, but not the words, so to speak, are the same ones as when Mama Cat was crying for her baby. But it's the baby that you see every day, and his siblings. You're the baby. Baby. I would even say that if that cat was my cat, this could have been her sibling, her sister. Every cat I see, I think that could have been my cat. That's the harm that it did to me and to them. One of the reasons we always feed them and make sure that they don't kill each other, to just let me do. Although I don't think the baby was trying to hurt her or even chase her away. The baby was probably just curious. You know, not many cats come here, so he was just too excited. She kept looking at me, though. And while the baby was chasing her, she was like, hey, making the noise, and then I gave her the food. My guess is I think the light was a problem. I guess the food went out. It's not that much. Oh yeah, by the way, she'll know need to poo. All of that, this absurd, desperate need to poo that I literally felt like I was about to pull my pants. And then, nothing. All good. I just said to you before, and again, I'm not complaining. I was complaining before that's inhumane, and as I said to you, that's essentially what they do. The purpose of that was to get me to do something which they would consider degrading. As I said before, never be ashamed to be a victim of a crime, right? And some of those crimes are meant to be degrading and humiliating, and that's I don't think I need to tell you this. I mean, you have a long list of worse crimes than this that meant exactly to be humiliating and degrading, and don't feel ashamed of that. It's not you. There is people who should be ashamed, but at the end of the day, that's not the sensation that you'll be feeling. You'll be one, and not by the own volition either. So. Now, I want to point out also the sheer amount of people passing back and forth here. So now the wind blows from the front. There was at least one point down, I said the wind was blowing from the front. Now then it stopped blowing from the back again. As I said, at evening, it's very shift, so it kind of stays in the middle ground, and then it actually predominates from one direction, usually the front. That's why every night when there are torture drugs in the air, I usually go to the front to show them to you. Usually, it's not always a guarantee. It stays from the front until morning. In the morning, it shifts to come from the back. That's the entire day, and then it shifts again. That's usually how it goes. I'm not a meteorologist to explain why, but at the end of the day, that's my experience. And again, usually, it's not obviously it's wind. I'm just pointing to you that with people passing in front, I mean, if this is laxative, I mean, you will notice. And if you feel something weird, even if it's not that much, but if you feel something weird in your bowels, and you have access to me saying that they were throwing something. Not anymore. As I said, now I'm not feeling anything. I just, again, we're having a much larger increase of people. So maybe that's the real purpose, right? But that would imply that they're actually lying to them, which I don't think that they are. So, I don't know. I'm just saying to you what I said before. Because it's not like right now I saw people and I'm reacting to it. As a matter of fact, only now I noticed it. Before I commented on not feeling the thing anymore. And I was even in the back. Another possibility was just then to get me to be out of sight. I'm not going to dive on that right now, but it's one of their genius plans, which is going to work just as well as all the other previous genius plans they had. What seems to be the case for the little I was able to gather. Yeah, I mean, not much else to say other than that. As far as organizing, the certain things are actually almost nefariously smart. For instance, this, not throwing something inhumane. I have not started yet. And to be honest, I don't know if it's more subconscious than conscious. Just leave it at that. Either way, it doesn't feel something to be prevented, for sure. And then into the geniuses throwing the shit drugs in the air, which would definitely slip me into a form of productive stage. So again, as I said, for each step that is half a way forward, they will take one back or two back, depending on which skill you're dealing with, and kind of see how it goes. No, that wouldn't make me feel the resistance. I will do my duty either way, but I'm saying to you the sheer perspective of, regardless of that, it would be another crime. The crime would be well documented, and on top of it, the cherry on top of the cake, it would get me to be very productive as doing something that I was supposed to be doing. And again, it just showcases the context that they'll be willing to go for all that just for fun, right? Because they find it funny to do those crimes. So, okay. So as I said, I want to check more things on the phone, and then after that, we're dealing with the rest. But first, I want to make sure that the important things. Another way for you to see it is, and I'm just eyeballing, I don't know the answer. Eyeballing? Oh, you're speculating, there's another word for that, remember. I don't actually know the answer, which is, I just put the things in here, so maybe that was the intention. Tough to say. The first idea that I had with that was that they wanted me hidden out of sight. Because apparently this video doesn't count for them. They think that the videos that everyone can see very soon for the no. The internet is just nothing. Let's see how it goes. I want those things inside of me at all times. The big one there is because of the cables that didn't put inside the other one yet. Yeah, not taking any chances. The other evidence bag may stay. We are still overlooking of a hole, which is not in detail. And again, over there we can have full view. Over here, check on chip as well, and making sure that everything is on the left. Kind of smell smoking here, something burning. So maybe we should change the strategy from one to the other. Who knows?